Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thought I'd do something a little bit different today, and that is in around some top tips as to what I would tell my 18-year-old self. So I am now 28 years old and thought I would share some wisdom and insight to those that are younger and what I wish I had known back when I was 18. So here we go. Okay, so top tip number one, I wish my 18-year-old self had known, and that is wear sunblock. Honestly, take such good care of your skin because as you get older, you notice every wrinkle, and I really wish that when I was younger, I had listened to people that said wear sunblock, don't do sunbeds. When I was, I think around 21, I got into sunbedding because of where I worked. There was a sunbed available, and I got in the habit of wanting to always be really brown, and I do sometimes wonder what premature aging that may have started, as well as I really do not want skin cancer. So that would be one thing I would tell my 18-year-old self, is to always wear sunscreen because it's really important. And as you get older, you notice more fine lines and wrinkles and things like that. So yeah, I wish I had taken better care of my skin. Another thing that I would like to tell my 18-year-old self is don't take for granted some of the experiences you have. So I wish I had taken the time to be more present in some of the experiences I had, knowing that things change in life, and you never quite know when the last time you'll experience something is. So one thing that's become more apparent in my late 20s is that change is inevitable, and you really should take a moment to appreciate every moment that you get, because you never know if it's going to be your last day or if it's going to be someone else's. So yeah, that's something I would definitely remind my 18-year-old self is, really enjoy the experiences that you get, because you never know when it's the last time. And yeah, things change so quickly. So always leave things with people as if that's the last time you're ever going to see them, because in reality, that's the case a lot of the time. That might be the last time you get to see them alive, or that might be the last time your friend was able to go out drinking with you before things change. So yeah, just I guess appreciating all the small things in life and all the experiences you get to have, because they're really special moments, especially with people. So that would be tip number two. Another tip I wish I had known was that you should never let other people's opinions or judgments influence you from doing what you truly want to do. So a lot of the time people are anti-life or anti-risk, but when you're young, that is the time to take risks, to find out what you do and don't like, what sort of life you want to lead. When I was about, I think I was 23, or maybe 24, I moved to England, and I always wanted to experience living somewhere else in the world. England was a happening place. Everyone goes to London, does the big OE, that sort of thing. I was lucky enough when I was 22 to go to England and explore lots of Europe on a Kentucky, and thought actually I could live here one day. So I left a really good job, I saved up, and I went over to England to work in a restaurant, and yeah, it didn't quite work out how I had planned it to work out. I didn't enjoy it as much as what I had thought I would have enjoyed it, But I did learn a lot from that experience, and a lot of things helped with my personal growth and I guess gratitude for what I have. So don't be afraid when you're young to take those risks, to try out something new, because yeah, your early 20s is the time to do it. As you get older, you know, things happen. Maybe you have children, or coronavirus happens and you can't, you know, you can no longer do the things that you wanted to do. So definitely, you know, seize the day and make the time to get all those things that you wanted to do out of the way. And whether or not they were good or they were disappointing or what happened, they're all learning experiences, and they all build to what sort of person you are and who you want to be. So yeah, don't let other people's fears influence your decisions, because a lot of people are going to tell you, don't do that, that's stupid, or but what if you fail? And when people do that, it makes us doubt ourselves and how we feel about things. But you've got to keep in mind that, you know, what have you got to lose? What if it did work out right? You know, don't let other people's judgments influence your decisions. Another tip that I wish I could tell myself at 18 would be that you don't have to go to university when you leave 7th form. So I always kind of thought of success and things to mean a really good career, you know, getting a job that uses your brain and working your way up the ladder. Now, that is important, and I'm not saying don't go to uni, because I definitely think that, you know, it's great to go, and I enjoyed it, and there's no regrets that I have. But also, like, if you don't end up going straight away, that's okay. Like, I think school and things place so much emphasis on, you know, I was 17 when I left school, and I was at uni for good 6 months of the year. My birthday is May the 31st, so yeah, I was 17 at uni, and I thought I had to find out, you know, what I wanted to be, what career I was going to have for the next, you know, 50 years, and I felt a lot of pressure because I wasn't always someone that woke up one day and was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be this. When I was younger, I always wanted to be a veterinarian. And when I was 15, I did a week work experience at a vet's, and realised that my love for animals was too great, and that sort of work would upset me too much. So yeah, it was unattainable. And I mean, I would have always doubted myself as well in terms of the science and the maths that went with that. So yeah, I didn't wake up and just was like, you know, oh, that's what I'm going to be like for the rest of my life. I just went to the Auckland Uni and Waikato Uni open days and sat in on a psychology lecture and was kind of like, oh, this is really interesting. Maybe I'll do psychology. So yeah, that's what I did, and I don't regret it, but just know that you've got your whole life ahead of you, and more than likely you're going to be involved in more than one career. You know, don't think like, oh my gosh, I've like, I have to be a doctor and that's going to be the rest of my life forever. You know, that's sort of the pressure that school puts on you, but you shouldn't feel like that at all. And I guess knowing that, you know, there are other ways, like going to uni doesn't guarantee success. It doesn't guarantee a good job. Lots of people these days have degrees and they're working at, you know, low-level jobs because they can't get jobs in their industry. And I know lots of successful people that, you know, left school at 16 and they've got their own business and they're doing really well. So just know that there are other options, and that you can go to uni when you're 30. You can go to uni when you're 40 or 50. Like, you don't have to go straight away. And if you don't, doesn't mean you're a failure, because I don't regret at all going to uni when I was 17, but at the same time, I think it's such a big commitment and responsibility and pressure. And yeah, I wish I had known that it was okay to have not gone as well. So yeah, that's something I would tell my 18-year-old self, is that it's okay to not go, and success isn't a straight line, nor is it like a common goal or identifiable thing, you know. What I'm finding now is success means so many different things to different people. And my view of success and what a successful life is has changed dramatically, even in the past couple of years. So yeah, you really have to evaluate what's important, and knowing that your situation now isn't your situation forever, and at any time things could change. So again, that's knowing that change is always going to happen. That's the one constant in life. We're born, we pay tax, and change happens, and then we all die. So yeah, change, get ready for it, because yeah, everything always changes all the time. And that leads me to my next tip, and it's one that I think is very important to know, but you can't change the past or the people. So what I mean by that is, you know, when you're younger, sometimes you have these hang-ups of things, and you think of, you know, maybe people that, you know, didn't do the right thing by you, or what happened in the past was, you know, tough and horrible. Like, we all go through trauma to different severities, but that, you know, you can't change it. So instead of being a victim, or instead of being very angry at what's happened, you have to find a way to let it go and lead the life that you want. And in saying that, lots of people, you know, you can't change someone. So as much as you would like to sometimes, you're only responsible for your own change, and you can't make anyone else change, no matter how badly you'd like them to. So that would be something that I would like to have told my 18-year-old self, is that don't try to change people, because you can't, and it's not up to you. And you just have to accept people as they are, and if you don't like them, or you don't like, you know, what sort of values and things that they have, then you need to move on. So yeah, that's kind of my view on that, and it's up to you as to what that looks like and how you do that. But a lot of people get hung up on the past, and I think a lot of the time you need to focus on the here and now, and yeah, creating the future that you want. Okay, and my final tip that I wish I had told my 18-year-old self is that you need to have faith. Life, like a good friend said to me, maybe like a week ago, did you think you would all be nearly 30 and this would be how your life would be? And it made me really think, because I don't really know what sort of life I thought I would have at this age, but I guess it isn't the life that I've got now. And I always thought I'd feel a lot like older than what I feel. Like, I still feel quite young, and you kind of realize the older you get that everyone's faking it till they make it, and that things are really uncertain, and you can't actually control everything, even though you'd like to. Like, look at what's happening right now. We're in lockdown. You can't control that. That's just happened, and it's thrown so many people's plans in the rubbish bin. So yeah, just, I guess, to have faith that life works out, and not always the way that is intended or that you wanted it to. But in saying that, you can also achieve a lot more than what you thought you could as well. So in some ways, I don't have the life I thought I would have had, but not in a bad way. Like, in terms of things that I've achieved, I feel like I've gone above and beyond what I ever thought imaginable, and, you know, the things that I've really wanted to do, I've actually been able to. So yeah, I guess have faith that things are just going to work out, and when it's the right time it will be, and don't force anything that's not right. I think growing up, like, I had such a such a pressure or high standard of, you know, at this age you do that, at this age you do that. And the older I get, the more I've learnt that nothing is a straight line, and don't compare yourself to other people, because it might be their right time, but it's not your right time. And just because it hasn't happened now, then that's okay, you know? Yeah, just have faith that it turns out. And if you're in a chapter of your life that you're not enjoying or that's really hard, know that the most growth is going to come through that time. So you actually, yeah, you learn from things you experience. And some of the hardest things that I've gone through have been the most insightful. So I've taken a lot from them. And if you find that you're experiencing the same problem over and over again, like, for example, your friends keep using you, your friends let you down, and this keeps happening, then you really need to look at yourself and be like, okay, what am I doing to contribute or enable this? So, you know, you can actually reflect on some of your behaviors and see, am I letting people do this to me, or what's happening here? And I'm trying to figure out. So yeah, you can move through it, and just know that maybe life won't turn out how you expected, but maybe it's going to turn out better. I don't know. Just, you know, you've got to enjoy the process, because you never know, as cheesy as it sounds, like when your last day is going to be. But just know that, yeah, live the life that you want, live a life that you can go to sleep each night and, you know, contently fall asleep, and yeah, live by those values. And for me, like, I always knew I wanted to help people in whatever form or shape that was. I wanted to help people, and I have lived a life that has enabled me to do that. Even doing some of these videos, you know, it is a creative avenue where maybe I can, even if it reaches one person, if I get one view, you know, and that's helped someone, then that's great. So yeah, also, that was going to be my last one, but I've just thought of another one, is don't be afraid to make mistakes. Gosh, that's like the most important thing ever. So many times, like, you know, we all become perfectionists. We all become people that, oh no, I can't do that because I'm not perfect at that. So like, you know, you can only do that if you know that you've got it 100%, you know what you're doing. People don't like to take risks, or people don't like to not be good at something. And yeah, that used to put me off like a lot, you know. When I was younger, I didn't like making mistakes. I didn't like being average at things. So yeah, if I couldn't do it, I'd be like, no, just don't want to do it, don't like it. But it's all about, yeah, have a go. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Like, it's better to regret the things that you've done instead of the things that you wish you did. So yeah, I've kind of like lived my life like that, is really trying to, yeah, make sure that all the things that I've wanted to do, don't let fear, don't let things hold you back, people's opinions, just go do it. It's okay if it doesn't work out, because yeah, that's all part of life. Nothing's going to go your way 100%, so you just have to make the most of it and take those risks, and some will pay off and some won't. So yeah, those are sort of the things I wish my 18-year-old self would have known. And yeah, just as I reflect, is, you know, just over 1 year away from my 30th, which is so crazy. But yeah, that's kind of the advice I would give. So yeah, if you enjoyed that, awesome, and give me a thumbs up, and maybe I'll make a few more videos like this, like some advice or some things that, yeah, I wish I had known, and upload those to my channel.